What's up guys, Rhino here and welcome to my latest FIFA 19 video. So obviously guys, I said I wanted to start doing a few more SBCs and I mentioned it in my rewards video yesterday. Haven't really done too many of them recently, kind of like for mixed reasons. Some of them obviously I've just not really been doing because like they've just been too expensive or I've just not really kind of liked the card. And ones which I have done just haven't necessarily been what I would consider kind of being like big enough to warrant kind of making a video. And then also been streaming stuff as well, so I haven't really done too many. But we are back today. I'm going to be doing one. To be honest, I want to kind of focus on actually two, hopefully today. I want to have a look at this player of Rashford, but that is not going to be in this particular video, as I don't think I'm actually going to complete this one. So I'm going to do one which I'm actually going to complete in this particular one, and then I'll probably do a separate video for Rashford, just to kind of talk through it, like my kind of thoughts on it, and maybe like a little concept squad on how to actually get it done, but I won't actually complete it. But I'm going to be doing the flashback Fernando Torres today, which, I mean, I'm so buzzed that this card's come out. I mean, what a card. It's had mixed reviews, I would say, from what I've seen on like various social media and stuff like that. I think it's one of these cards that if you're a Liverpool fan, or to some extent if you're a Chelsea fan, I think there's a few Chelsea fans out there who, to be honest, really liked him, as much as he didn't kind of deliver when he was there, and I suppose like, if you're an Athletic Madrid fan as well, I suppose if you've got any kind of like connection to Torres, then for sure he's going to be a card that you're going to really want. Obviously for me, like I absolutely loved him when he was at Liverpool. He was just like an absolute hero, so I definitely want to get him done regardless of the price. We quickly have a look at his card. Obviously 6'1", that's a pretty decent height for a striker. Medium work rates, that's not too bad. 4-star weak foot, which is pretty good as well, so you can use his left foot. Only 3-star skills, but for me personally that isn't really an issue. I don't really do skill moves that often, so that's not something that really concerns me. If you have a look at like his general kind of in-game stats, now this is where people have been kind of a little bit critical of him. So in general, he's very good. I mean, this is a phenomenal card. I mean, for starters, we just talk about the face card stats. 91 pace, 91 shot, 89 dribbling. I mean, that's phenomenal. 84 physical as well to go with it. 78 passes as well is pretty good. I wouldn't say he was ever kind of necessarily known for his passing, but 78 is pretty good. I mean, a lot of that's probably short passing, I would imagine. Yeah, so 86 short passing. If you kind of look at his stats in a bit more detail, so only 86 acceleration, but he does 94 sprint speed, which, I mean, that's fully deserved. He should have that. He was so quick in his prime. He was absolutely rapid. 94 attack position is going to be so useful. 89 finishing. 98 shot power as well. Still got like the 86 long shots. I think that's pretty accurate. He wasn't exactly like known for his long shots, but he did pull off a few in his time. He scored some very good goals. Like one that always springs to my mind is the goal he scored against Blackburn, where it kind of like the ball went over the top and he was running down the right channel, kind of like dropped over his shoulder and he just volleyed it like straight across over into the far top corner past like Paul Robinson. It was an unbelievable goal. And he's got a few like goals outside the box this time. I wouldn't say like that was like the thing he's sort of most known for, but I think 86 pretty reasonable. 95 volleys, obviously I just said about that volley he scored. 87 penalties. I mean, I don't know if he really took that many penalties in his time, but that's fair enough. I reckon he would have been quite good at them, whether he did or didn't take them, so obviously he's such a good finisher. Yeah, the passing stats are quite surprising in a good way, I would say. I mean, 83 vision is pretty good. Decent crosser. Not exactly known for his free kicks, so that's fair enough. I wouldn't exactly expect to take a free kick with him. 87 curve is pretty good as well. I think that's fully deserved. That's pretty well justified. If anything, maybe a little bit higher, to be honest. In terms of the dribbling, really good ball control and dribbling. Look at like 92, 93. 85 reactions is great. But this is where he kind of gets a bit of criticism, because I know he's got 89 finishing. He only has 80 composure. I mean, that's not dreadful. Let's face it, it's not dreadful. But for a 92 rated card, 92 rated striker, you would kind of like him to have a little bit more, I would say. And the 58 balance as well is a little bit of a problem. I don't know if that kind of get cancelled out by the fact that he does have such good dribbling and ball control. It might not be that much of a factor. And I suppose, like it's not like he's going to be sprinting down the wing constantly. He doesn't need to be like a real kind of quick, agile winger. As long as he's got enough kind of pace and ball control to shift the ball into decent areas, decent positions. He's going to be a good enough striker, really. So I think some people kind of take it a little bit out of context in terms of how critical they're being. I can understand the reasons for it, because if you just look at him as like you look at the cards in black and white, I think the card stats, I should say, and I can see why, because that is one of the big stats which people always focus on for a striker. But in general, I think as like an overall kind of package, I don't think it's necessarily that bad. 89 heading accuracy, I mean, that's unreal. I remember one goal he scored against Man United at the time. I can't remember, like, to be honest, I'm pretty sure we actually lost the game. I think we went 1-0 up. It was his header, and then we ended up losing 2-1 in the game, I'm pretty sure. But it was unreal. I remember he just, like, bearing in mind, like, Ferdinand and Vidic were, like, the top two centre-backs, like, the best centre-back partnership on the planet. He just, like, rose above them. The way he just kind of, like, hung in the air and just rotated his neck and powered it straight into the top corner past Van der Sar. It was unreal. Such a good header. 94 jumping, yeah, like the way like how he hung in the air. 90 strength as well. That's more than justified. I remember another game against Man United actually, 4-1 game when Vidic got sent off and he literally just completely bullied him. Yeah, when he completely bullied Vidic, just like peeled away from him, sprinted through. Vidic was just like trying to like basically tug him down, and he just brushed him aside and threw him off, and then just basically slotted it past Van der Sar. So that's pretty justified there. So all in all, he has very, very good stats, and definitely a card I want to do. Now, the only kind of like downside to this particular card, I mean, obviously it's not great league. It's a good nationality though. It's going to be difficult to link him in the Japanese league. But if you have a look, if I can bring up the here it is, right? So you can see Footbin currently classed him as about 281k to complete. Now, that is a lot, to be honest. That is a heck of a lot, especially to kind of sink into a card which is untradeable. You know, you're sinking your coin straight in there. But to be honest, like I said, for me, because of who it is, I'm more than willing to do it. I'm more than willing to do it for him. You can have a look at like the individual costs of each squad as well. So you've got this one. The first one is saying about 209k. Second one's about 71. So the second squad is definitely one which is gonna be a lot easier. The first one's definitely where you're sinking your coins in. So if you've got anything that you can kind of whack into that first squad straight away and save yourself a little bit of coinage there, then that's going to be pretty useful. Now you'll see for me, I've got my squads ready. Once EA will actually allow it to be shown, because they always like to do this. When I don't press any buttons for a little while, they like to pretend that I'm not there. They like to kick me out. You'll see which I do actually have a couple of players which would fit quite nicely into the first squad. One of the requirements is like an inform. You do need a Liverpool player as well. And I had some pretty good like high rated cards anyway already just in my club, so that saved me a little bit of cash. The second squad I managed to kind of, I think it was like 3 players I had already. So most of it I've had to pay for, but in total this cost me about 200k to do. Yeah, so I managed to save about 80k on this particular SBC, which isn't too bad, to be honest. I mean, I didn't really have a lot in my club already anyway, so any kind of saving that I could have made would have been ideal. But yeah, here's the squad anyway for the first one. So like I said, you need one Liverpool player, you need an inform as well. The thing which makes it really expensive, you do need like an 86 rated squad. So you know, if you haven't got a lot in your squad already, it's going to be quite expensive. Not many people tend to have a huge number of like 86, 87s, maybe even like 88 rated cards already. So it can be difficult. Depends on what inform you've got as well. So like 80 chemistry as well, I suppose I should probably say that, but that's not too bad. If you look at mine, so I've got Chilwell as my inform, and obviously if you saw my rewards video, that I got that from that. He was untradeable, so I'm more than happy to stick him in. Admittedly, he's probably not one of the cheapest informs out there that you could use. He's about 40k, I think. That was what he was when I first packed him. He might have gone down, I'm not sure, but yeah, he was about 40k. There are a few cheaper 84s out there. And I'll prove that with my next squad. But to be honest, I just thought, because he's in my club, like, why not? You may as well just use him. There's no point kind of dip an extra kind of like 20-25k in just to get a player when you've got somebody there that at the end of the day aren't really going to use him for anything else. He was always going to be an SBC player, so may as well just use him. And the Liverpool player I got is Allison. He was actually untradeable as well, untradeable first owner, so that kind of worked quite perfectly for me. If anything, they were actually a couple of the only real kind of high-rated Premier League players I actually had, so it worked really nicely for this particular squad. It was almost like it's meant to be, really. Ozil was the other one. I played one game with him. That was when I thought I'd try and do the headliner Demurby, but that obviously didn't really come to anything, so just threw him straight in as well. He's in there at right back, but that's enough. Obviously, we got a little bit of room for manoeuvre with the chemistry. And then I think the rest of it is pretty much all... The rest of the Premier League players are all paid for. The only one that isn't there is just the Perisic, who I just threw in there. Just kind of randomly still gets it. He was just like another 86 rated card I had in my club just to get the rating. Now, I'm going to bring something up on here again. I'm just going to go back onto Footbin quickly, just to show you guys if I can bring it up. I think I've got it on this page here. So, if I just... if I clear the filters on that, just bring up all the... So basically, there's a page on Footbin. I'll put a link in the description for you guys if you haven't seen it already. To be honest, I kind of already... I always thought they would have had something like this, but I'd never really kind of bothered to look. I'd always kind of tried to do SBCs myself, really, and try and do them as cheaply as possible. But I found this page on Footbin. I'm sure most of you guys know about it anyway, where it actually has a list of the cheapest players for every rating. So if there's like a certain SBC you need a certain rating, so this one you need 86, you can literally go down and it tells you what the cheapest 86 rated cards are on the market. So you've got all those there. Obviously, it will kind of change a little bit every now and then, so it's slightly different to what it was when I picked up the players. But to be honest, they're roughly, it's pretty much the same. You're not going to get like too many changes. So you can see like Perisic, he comes up as one of the cheapest 86 rated cards out there, and obviously I've already had him. I'm pretty sure he's untradeable, yeah. So I was like, you know what? As much as I love Perisic, he's one of my favourite cards in the game, but I may as well sink him in, because if I ever want him in the future, he's not exactly going to cost too much to pick up, is he? He's a really cheap card for an 86, so you may as well just throw him in. And then you just kind of go through, really, and obviously you want to get enough chemistry. So you've got, like, in my situation, Allison, Chilwell, Ozil. You got to think, like, what's the best way to get the chemistry? And to be honest, most of the time it's, you just go through the players for the same league. So I went Premier League. And if what you probably noticed through a lot of these, there's a lot of Man City players that are, like the cheapest for their overalls. So yeah, I mean, if we look here, like you look at the 86s, you've got Edison. There's one, so you can see obviously I've got him up. Well, I say you can see, you can't see it right now, but you might have saw that I had him up front. Obviously goalkeeper not quite in the right position, but it's enough because I've got so many Man City players that it gets a bit of chemistry. So he's one of the cheapest 86s out there. You go to 85s, you've got Mahrez. One player who was actually there last night, and he's not quite there now, so I would imagine that he's still pretty cheap. I might be able to just quickly bring him up if I go on. I don't really need this particular tab anymore. Is Raheem Sterling. Now, if I just quickly pop him in, so 16k now, so he's gone up a little bit. That could be because of the Rashford SBC potentially. Obviously him being English, so that could be part of the reason why he's gone up a little bit. But still one of the kind of cheaper 85 rated cards out there. Fernandinho, obviously somebody I've got there. I imagine he's probably still roughly about the same. He's one of the cheapest ones at the time. Otamendi as well, you can see I picked him up. Company was another 85. They're all like pretty cheap. I mean, you can see like Otamendi, I picked him up for 23. So you can't see that, can you? I'll just check if there's any more on it quickly before I move on. No, there's nothing else on there. I don't think there's any other Man City players, no. To be honest, most of them look as though they've maybe gone up the odd little bit, but I'll bring it back to the to FIFA now. So you can see like Otamendi, picked them up for about 23,000 coins. Most of those ones on that list were about 23 really at the most. So yeah, not bad in that sense for him. Company was a pretty cheap player, 13.5k there. Fernandinho was another one like 23k as an 86. Obviously picked up like Edison for 20. So in general, not too bad. Like Matic, 23k. He's probably gone up, to be honest. Now maybe I imagine you probably need some sort of some sort of Man United card. What's going on here? Duration 15 million years. Whoa. Okay, that's not good. They do my head in. They honestly do my head in. They love to cause carnage when you're trying to make a video. You're just like, come on, man, like let me have a look. I want to see what his price is. And you saw had like Alexis Sanchez there as well. It's another 87 weight card. So all in all, I feel like I got the cheapest players for what I could to get the chemistry. But to be honest, it was always going to be a pretty expensive squad, this one. Once this allows me just to check, I just want to quickly have a look. Just want to see what Matic's price is if I've got him dirt cheap. But I feel like maybe that was a mistake. Maybe I shouldn't have... come on, man. Oh, they might actually allow me to have a look now. Maybe not. They're still saying, okay, yeah, so it's sorted itself. So Matic, well, maybe a little bit. I mean, he's still pretty similar actually, so that's not too bad. But yeah, in general, like I said, not too bad really. It cost me about 200k the entire SBC, so I think probably like this particular squad probably cost me about 100 and I would say about 150 tops. I don't know if it was even that, to be fair. I'm not going to add them all up, but yeah, and bear in mind, you get pack rewards for this as well. So you don't just get the player, you get the packs at the end. So like rare mega pack for that first one, that's a 55,000 coin pack. That's pretty good. You have a pretty good chance of getting a big player out of that. And I think the other one is I'm not sure what the other pack is actually. I can't say I've actually seen it, but you do obviously get another pack for it. Honestly, I don't know what is actually up with the servers today. I might have to just quickly cut back again for like the fucking 18th time. There we go. Okay, right, we're back. So what do you get for this one? A prime gold players pack. So that's not too bad actually. But this one is much easier to do. You just need 2 Spanish players. Only again like 1 in form. It's only an 84 rated squad. 8 chemistry again. So it's just the fact that it's a lower rated squad makes it a lot easier. I think the way I started was pretty much by just going through and see what Spanish players had that want like kind of hit the rating requirement, and then just pretty much went all BBVA around that because most Spanish players are BBVA anyway. So for me personally, I had Senjo and Ilara Mendy. So that was quite good. William Carvalho as well was another BBVA player, so that was quite good, even though obviously not Spanish. That still works. And then you just kind of build around it. So again, going back to what I was saying before with the list on Footbin. So if you were to go, basically what you can do is you can actually search it by league. So if you go to this little drop down menu here and then you pick out Liga Santander, just I think that's probably you could go Spanish, but you pick out Liga Santander, it will then bring up the cheapest players of every rating just in that league. So you can then go through and be like, oh, okay, right, so I need a lot of 84s because it's an 84 rated squad. So you know what, you pick them out. So you can literally just kind of sift through them. I mean, you can see I picked out like Carvajal, picked out Jimenez, already had Ilara Mendy. I didn't need to go for Benzema, and then obviously I had Sergio Senjo, I already had William Carvalho. I never went for Neto, and then it was an option for me. You can see I picked out the very cheapest 85 rate card, Arturo Vidal at left back there, so that worked quite nicely. And the rest of it I managed to get away with just like 83s really. So I've got Benega, I've got Savic, I've got Trigueros, I've got Vasquez. So all in all, not too bad. And then the other thing I need to just quickly show, just before I do bring you back to the actual screen, if I just clear the filters on there, and if we bring up just gold informs, obviously you need an inform for this squad. Now you don't necessarily need to go for one which is from the same league. You just want to go ahead and get yourself something that's going to hit the rating really. And I think because you only need 80 chemistry, you can kind of get away with it. So you can see here, the cheapest 84 rated inform right now is Finn Bogerson. And then if I bring you back to the actual game, you can see obviously I've got Finn Bogerson up front. No links, but because you need 8 chemistry, it gets it done. There's enough kind of links in the rest of the squad there. I'm sure you could probably manoeuvre it a little bit to make it even better on the chemistry, but 80 is enough really. There's always the option to change, for example, like Benega to change him into a centre mid, or you can change Vasquez to a right mid, and it will work pretty nicely. That is one thing I should mention about the previous squad as well, actually, guys, which I have forgotten. So obviously, because I've submitted, I won't be able to kind of show you, but we were on exactly 80 chemistry on that other squad, and I had 3 players who were first owner, so they may have had +3 on the chemistry because of loyalty. So if you guys were to go out and buy that exact squad for, you know, for whatever, just and like put it in all those exact same positions, you may not hit the chemistry straight away, but you do have the option. There was a couple of players I didn't have in the precise position, so for example, to get the chemistry for myself, I actually had to move Mahrez to a right mid from a right wing, and also I had to change the left winger to a left mid. Now you could do that with a couple of the other players. There were a couple which weren't sort of bang on in terms of it. So, for example, like Perisic, you could change him from a left winger to a left forward. That would get you +1. Fernandinho, you could change from CDM to centre mid. That would get you +1. And Matic, you can change from CDM to centre mid. That would get you another +1. So you can get the 80 chemistry as long as you have them all in like the precise positions. But I personally didn't need that just because I already had the loyalty. So that is just one thing I want to point out to you guys before I get all the messages saying, "Oh no, it doesn't work. No, that last squad, it doesn't work." I get that a lot, so I just wanted to point that out. Here he is, pulling the rope to get himself in his Crystal Palace kit, because we will be doing the Crystal Palace stream, the Foot Champs. Pretty good. Very, very good, very good card. I'm excited to use it, to be honest. I'm excited to use them. I don't know when I'll use it. Probably be like Div Rivals. Obviously, not really going to be seeing much in Champs, but all in all, guys, I mean, not bad. Not a bad card at all. You know, like I say, he costs a fair bit, but definitely something I really wanted to have. You never know. It could be the last time he's on FIFA. You don't know. He could retire. You just never know. You never know if they'll have like the licensing for that league next year. Like, stranger things will happen. So it's just kind of good to make the use of the cards when they're available. I will just quickly go and open up these packs before I end the video, just to see if we can make any money back off this, see if we can get any walkouts or anything. We'll go ahead and open up the 45k pack to start with. Nothing really in there. There's not even a board, which is unfortunate. Is it going to be... Oh, it's Quartes. Okay. So Sebastian Quartes, which is pretty poor. Very average pack, to be honest. So we're not going to get any money back out of that. We might get something out of the rare mega pack, though. I feel like there's a pretty high chance we might get a walkout here. No, that is unfortunate. That is unfortunate. Are we even... Okay, we get a board. That's not too bad. And it's going to be... Is that Milinkovic Savic? It is. There's a 5 rated card. That's not too bad. A little bit of money back there. Hopefully maybe like one other kind of like 84 in there. Yeah, Jorginho, that's pretty good. Drop something Butland though then. Maybe some duplicates, I don't know. There's a few squad fitnesses which are useful for Foot Champs. But yeah, not great in terms of recouping any kind of coins out of that, but better than nothing. Milinkovic Savic is about 12, 13k, something like that. Jorginho, probably just chuck them all in the club, to be honest, SBC players. But that is going to be it, really, guys. I mean, like I said, it might not necessarily be completely worth it for you guys if you don't really like him that much, if you're not got kind of like a connection to him. If you're just looking at him as any other player, if you look at it just like stats and what he's going to do for you in the game, then maybe not necessarily completely worth it just because of how much he's going to cost. But to be honest, you got to think it's Fernando Torres. It's Fernando Torres in his prime, one of the best strikers the Premier League's ever seen. You can pick him up for about 200k if you've got a few players in your club. You never know, if you've got a completely jammed club, you might be able to get him for free. So chances like that don't come along very often. So you may as well go out there and get him done, guys. But that is going to be it for this particular video. I hope you did enjoy it. If you did, then feel free to leave a like, comment to let me know what you think about the SBC and what you think about the player if you have done the SBC and if you think it was actually worth it. Let me know how he's been doing for you, like if he's got good goal records or anything like that. Obviously, you can subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. That would be much appreciated if you wanted to do that. Obviously, like my Twitter, Instagram, Twitch, all that sort of stuff's been along the top of the screen anyway throughout the video. So feel free to subscribe, follow, all sorts of things on there if you wanted to. But that is it from me, guys. Hope you enjoy the rest of your day, and I will see you in the next one.